As I promised, I will now tell you of Aphrodite's treachery, and how Paris was nothing but a pawn in the eternal game played by the gods at the expense of men. Barely a year after Priam had brought his lost son Paris back into his household, the three goddesses, Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite, visited the young prince. They asked him to choose the fairest among them, a question mighty Zeus himself refused to answer, for he knew that preferring one meant making an enemy of the other two. So he convinced the goddesses to let Paris make the choice. The three goddesses bribed the young prince with fortune, conquest, and love. And gentle Paris chose love, chose passion, chose Aphrodite. Was it the rashness of youth that blinded the young Paris to make a choice Zeus himself dared not consider? Aphrodite made true her promise and brought Paris to the most beautiful woman on earth, Helen, wife of Menelaus. I have already told you what happened next, and the consequence thereof. Because of an act of reckless love, many were brought to pay a hefty price. Cassandra's prophecy was about to come true. But those who never believed what she foretold pointed to Hector, riding a wave of victory over the retreating Greeks. Hector easily breached the Grecian wall. On his side was Paris, shoulder to shoulder with the rest of the Trojans, not intent on glory, but yearning for redemption.
Hera, why do you meddle in our affairs? We might end the war, the suffering today!
You care about others' suffering, but you do not think twice about causing it. You chose lust over sanity. You chose Aphrodite over me!
Zeus must have known that he could not choose between you. That is why he passed the choice to me.
And you believed you could do what the gods would not. It was never your choice to make, Prince. That you have saved yourself today, young prince. In the fabric of time, a few more days, weeks, are nothing but a drop in the ocean.
Zeus, you tricked me! I was doomed whatever my choice. I am mocked by the gods, but I'll mock them back instead. Watch as I set the Greek ships on fire! Achilles, he is back. What next?
You are the torch which brings fire and death to Troy.
What next?
With Achilles back in the fight, the Greeks found the courage they had lost. and like lions freed from a cage, they sprung forth, their claws sharpened for the kill. But not everything was exactly as it seemed. You see, sometime before Achilles was seen leading his men back to battle, King Agamemnon and Odysseus hurried to Achilles' tent.
There. I return her to you. I swear I have not touched her. Will you now rejoin the battle? How can you idle here while brave men die?
What are you doing?
The men will follow this armor into the jaws of death. If you will not put it on and help save us from the brink of defeat, I will wear it and lead them myself.
Agamemnon is a snake. He comes to beg and never cares to admit his guilt.
So it's pride that keeps you, Achilles. I will lead our men to victory, keeping your pride intact and Agamemnon's in ruins. I will go in your stead, and only your sword will stop me.
You will push the Trojans back to the river, but you will not go across it. Do you understand what I'm telling you, Patroclus? Patroclus, you will not cross the river.
Apollo?
Achilles! Finally, we meet on this. Your last... This is not Achilles.
Why is this man wearing Achilles' armor?
A sleeping beast was about to be wakened, his roar to be heard across the land, his fury to provoke carnage and ruin never seen before. The vibrant color of spilled blood soon turns into dark patches of putrid waste. The darkened, contaminated soil around Troy loomed like a portent of darker deeds yet to come. Woe is to him that believes the gods have the interests of man at heart. As time passed, the tide of war changed at their slightest whim. Not trusting the gods for deliverance, Priam sent King Aeneas to search for allies, ready to come to Troy's aid. Aeneas easily convinced Penthesilea to lead her Amazons to Troy. Haunted by Hippolyte's death, the Amazon queen wished only to die. As an Amazon, she believed that an honorable death could only be achieved on the battlefield. Aeneas took pity on the queen and convinced her to seek a cleansing from Priam, a renowned healer of the spirit. The day Hector lifted the blood-soaked helmet from the fallen Patroclus, King Priam welcomed the Amazon's arrival. He readily agreed to perform the cleansing Penthesilea ardently asked for. Together they set out on a journey to the great temple of Apollo and Artemis, where the ritual was to take place.
We are near the temple now. The area ahead is filled with Greek forces. I'm afraid that I am too old to fight and shall follow you at some distance.
Sister. Hippolyte. Sister, I know there's only one true path for an Amazon. To die in battle.
King Priel. It's Prince Hector.